Welcome back to our Endeavor Miami podcast. We're live from Dell for Startups booth at eMerge Americas. And I have here our incredible friend and partner, Riley, who is a contributing writer for Refresh Miami. Welcome, Riley.
Thank you so much for having me. This is a great setup you have here.
Yeah, it's fun, and I want to learn from the best. So I want you to share with our audience a bit about your journey, right? And what have you seen as the most innovative trends in our ecosystem in the past, maybe a couple of years, and what do you foresee in the near future to be those innovative trends, and what is going to make this thriving community continue to grow?
Definitely, being in eMerge, it's been really interesting to think kind of back the last couple of years. It's a very easy benchmark to think, oh, how are things going that time? And I'm thinking back to 2 years ago and crypto just being the big thing, all the Web3, and now we don't see almost any of that here today, barely any mentions of it. But I still think that there are people building in that space, doing meaningful things, and I think it's kind of nice that the hype has calmed down a little bit, and the people who are really rolling up their sleeves to do something interesting are still doing that. And so that's a trend that I think has been big and will continue to be. I think, of course, the buzzword of the day for sure is AI. I mean, you can't escape it. I think what's interesting is you're seeing people here try to do it a little bit differently, like maybe thinking about cybersecurity. At your event with Securely, one of the companies that you're working with, is a great example of that. So seeing that, quantum computing also, and kind of the interaction with that. And then I think also the big trend is Latin America, and you guys do such a great job at that with the Latinx cohort you just did, but just in general, Miami as a hub for Latin American companies wanting to expand into the US, but then also American investors who see the power of what's going on in Latin America and want to be part of that. Miami's a really great place for them to be as well.
Yeah, we see a big migration. We'll have seen a big migration in the last years from Latin America, right? And also domestically from California and New York. And I feel like we are all contributing together to build this strong ecosystem, right, for entrepreneurs and by entrepreneurs and by people that are passionate about entrepreneurship like us. 100%. So, with your deep engagement in the community, and you speak to so many entrepreneurs and you have the opportunity to interview them, are there any insights or recurring challenges or opportunities that you see being mentioned constantly?
The number one is talent. I mean, that's really the one that comes up. I think the question of, do we have the pipeline? And I think that's definitely improving. I mean, just seeing it emerge, every single university that, in our area has a big presence here. That's huge. It's lots of students. So that's really positive to see. But I think still that's a bit of a question mark, especially for companies that maybe raise a $10 million Series A and overnight need to hire 40 engineers, you know what I mean? So it's kind of a difficult situation for them. I think it's less of an issue now, but maybe access to funding. Still Miami's great because everyone kind of comes through Miami at some point, so even if they're not based here, they're in Miami before they go to New York or before they go to Sao Paulo or wherever it may be. But still firming up those networks of investor capital, I think, is something for Miami to strive to do. And just lastly, I think also community partners and bringing everyone together. I think the work you do is so important. The work Refresh Miami does is really important. And it's about having more links between these organizations, and also just really having more organizations that give startups a voice and give investors a voice. It's super important.
It's super important to give the voice to the entrepreneurs, and at the end of the day, we work to connect them, to empower them, to give them visibility. That's super important, right? And thanks to the work that we do, we are able to connect them. And like you just mentioned, the talent issue, I think it's just a matter of time, right? Because there is a lot of investment going to the universities, and I think that a lot of this talent will be starting to graduate, and hopefully some of the companies that are getting investment are going to hire them in the next couple of years. Maybe in the gap will be more at the C-level hiring, right? But I do have a lot of faith that it's going to be an incredible talent pool.
And I think the other thing that's a big difference from even maybe 5 years ago is this idea of boomerangs. So people who grew up in Miami but then left to study somewhere else.
They're
coming back. But what's interesting is the next generation might not ever leave feasibly. You know what I mean? Because there are more opportunities here, they could just say, yeah, I'll go to FIU and then I'll get a job in Miami Tech because I can. 5 years ago, could you have said that? Probably not to the same extent.
And isn't that great?
Amazing.
That you have access to good education and you can stay in the city that you love and that you grew up with?
100%.
Well, we're completely aligned. So thank you, Riley, for joining me today, and keep up with an excellent work that you do. And thank you for collaborating with Endeavor Miami.
My pleasure. Likewise. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was
it
really
was
a
fun.
pleasure.
Of course.
And now you have a break. I'll give you a.
Can I have a break?
I'll see you soon.